So let's talk about it. I'm just a girl.
You know that girl, I am just a girl too.
There's a creator on this app called I'm Just a Girl, and a lot of y'all don't like her.
All the discourse surrounding just a girl, I really have just one question.
And I'm just a girl.
Just a girl.
That lady, I'm just a girl.
No, because y'all are tearing that just a girl a whole new one.
I think the problem with I'm Just a Girl's content,
that just a girl lady, you cannot convince me that she don't hate black women.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just a Girl show. That intro just really, it just makes me giggle. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Be sure to make sure that you guys are liking the live. If you are not already familiar with myself, I am Janine. Welcome here. And we have my beautiful, lovely sister, Joy, here. I'll let Joy introduce herself. And we can jump into this amazing, much needed conversation.
Hey, you guys, I'm Joy, and I am just a girl, period.
Hey, everybody. KK's here. Hey, KK. Okay, you guys. So I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't know what was happening on TikTok before I came on TikTok, right? I know what I know. And I know that when I started to speak out about how we dress as women, I do believe that how we look and how we carry ourselves plays a big factor in how we are addressed, right? And I've gotten a lot of negativity surrounding that, right? There's this idea that we should be able to do whatever we want to do, wear whatever we want to wear. And if you are trying to direct women a different way, you're obviously trying to police them, you're trying to dictate, you're a pick me, all the things. But I think when we really think about it, and we've talked about this before in live plenty of times, when we talk about the women who are actually being taken seriously, who are wives, like we see the women who dress more provocative, the Instagram girls, the celebrities, all of those things. But we think about their relationships and what it looks like. And it's not ideal what we would think, right? Like they do have partners, right? Men that they are dating who they are with. But in my opinion, a man taking you truly seriously and really wanting to take you to the next level in a relationship really cares about how you present yourself, i.e. how provocative you dress. Like I said, just the clothing that we wear in today's time, it is so far left that there's nothing's off limit. But what do you think, Joy? What do you think is why there's this big, I guess, pushback on women being more modest? And again, being modest doesn't mean, again, you cover it up head to toe, can't show nothing. It's just about being more having more grace, more elegance into just how you are as a woman. But what are your thoughts?
I think people are comfortable with the idea of liberating themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have turned the word and made it into what they want it to be instead of what it was actually intended for. Just like the whole my body, my choice.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't intended for you guys to show your tail, right? It was intended for us to have agency over our bodies, which in fact is what we need. We don't want our bodies to be misused and abused. We don't want to be essayed or sexually assaulted. These are things that are true. And so when you take something like my body, my choice, which is supposed to mean something bigger and something greater, and you dim that light into something like a free-for-all,
Right.
it kind of like gives us this idea of like, okay, well, if I can dress this way, if I can behave this way, that's me being free, and everybody should let me do what I want. And I just feel like we should have stipulations to some capacity. We should have some sort of cap on that, because without a cap, I mean, we're kind of going backwards instead of forwards. It's like, what do you think a free-for-all looks like?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that means?
And like you said, there is no cap, right? So everything that like you said, that is the perfect explanation of we change everything and we make it what we wanted to make it. And even, we talked about before about how women will say like, well, their favorite celebrity, well, she wears this and she's with this person, or she wears that. And it's like, That's not the real world, number one, right? That's not the average woman walking around in their neighborhood, in the community, wearing those clothing, right? So you're trying to compare yourself to a celebrity whose life is so different than yours. The type of men that she's dating, again, even that too. Look at the quality of their relationships. Just because they look like they're all put together and they look like they have all these things. Can you close that, Lovey? It's loud. All of those things, in reality, again, she has that liberation to wear whatever she wants to wear, but what is the end result? Like, what are we fighting for? And I think, as you said, that this free fall to just wear whatever, do whatever, and women feel like if you ever try to tell them to do something different, you're policing them and you're trying to make them not be for like a woman. And I think the whole self-expression, all of that terminology is, we just found ways to, like, we're not really expressing ourselves, we're just falling victim to what society has made us believe as women, that we should be able to walk out freely, tatas out, all the things. And I think that when we think about just how it makes us look, I think we get back to that word of, we shouldn't be judging. No one should judge you, but let's be real. Everyone judges. No one gets a pass. And we need to really think about how we decide to move as women and how we want to be treated, right? So we're going to be talking again tonight about just how we dress is how we will how you'll be addressed. And I think I want women to really understand that and really lock in on it, and not take it as like this bashing, or people are trying to treat you differently. But you got to think, if you're out and about and you're dealing with people, how people present themselves, for the most part, we tend to interact with them based on how they look. So I feel like people are very disingenuous when they try to get in the comments and make videos and pretend like they're so whatever, and how people dress and how they look doesn't matter. But it's like, come on, if somebody was homeless and they were looking dirty or whatever, and they walked up to you, you would be very taken back. You would not want to interact with them. You would be, versus somebody who came up with you more put together, and they asked you for, let's just say, directions. They were asking you for directions. One person that looks homeless, dirty, how they look, versus someone who's more put together saying, hey, do you know where this is? You're going to have a whole different interaction with them. But women tend to think it only applies in those situations versus how they are dealing with men. And it's like, it applies. It very much applies. So I'm going to play this first clip. And we're going to talk about this photo here as well, that I have on the screen of Angela Simmons, but we're going to come back to that because I want women to really think about, again, I want to see more women married and happy relationships. And I think this is one of the biggest factors that women are fighting so hard for when it comes to dating, that they need a man who's going to let them wear what they want to wear. So like, you are willing to miss out on a really good man potentially because you can't wear the booty shorts, and I'm like, that's really where we are. It's crazy, but there's like, that is that fight, that's the fight of like, if I can't wear that, he's not the man for me. But let me share this clip with y'all. This is very interesting. Like I said, how women view insecurities in a man. And let's do it. Yes, I think he's getting ice cream.
Insecure of a man not to like or want? Is it insecure of a man not to like or want you to dress sexy in order for you to be his wife?
What's sexy?
What I got on, like what I got on right now.
Oh, let me. I gotta get a good look at you. Let me see. Where your shirt at?
Okay, we're gonna pause. Y'all see? I don't want to pause on her, but do y'all see? So that's what she's saying. That's sexy, right? That's sexy. And if a man she wants to know, is it insecure for a man is he insecure if he doesn't want her to be out like that, right?
Kitty, what do you think?
I think that sometimes some of y'all women really don't understand how territorial men are. It's different if you were covered up, but baby, you got tape on. So yes, of course, a man who knows how men are going to look at you, knowing that there's going to be men who are going to be predators or going to pursue you, he's right for saying that. That's not meaning that he's insecure. He's territorial. That's a man's nature, and that's absolutely okay. It's your responsibility as his woman to understand his nature and to also have boundaries with yourself, knowing what you are exposing yourself to. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be quick. I'm so glad I can have conversations with my husband because I asked him, we had a deep conversation. I said, what is it about women that will make you not wife her? And the first thing he said, the way she presents herself. That's coming from a man. Men will tell you that if you dress provocative, they're going to see you as an object. Stop calling men insecure. That is their God-given right to say, I don't want my woman to present herself out here, because not only is she a representation of me, she's a representation of herself.
All the things, sister. All the things.
I mean, that's literally what women say, right? They think men are insecure. But
I would also pose the question. So, would that make us insecure as women when we want our friends to put on some clothes when our men come around? Or how about when the women don't like when their men hold the door for other women? Or how about even TV shows, or if you're just out and about? I've seen it. Like, I've been around certain homegirls where she'll cover her man's face during movies. Or she'll look at him a specific way when we're walking about, and we'll see a girl that's half dressed. It's like, does that make us insecure?
Right.
When we don't like these things when it comes to us and our men, we don't want our men in the gray sweatpants. Does that make us insecure? So it's like it's hypocrisy at its finest, for sure.
Yeah. No, and again, like she said, when you think about how you present yourself, there's no way around when it comes to men. And I think women don't realize, because we get caught up in, like I said, you're comparing yourself to all the women who look like how you dress. But again, if we go down the line of these women and how they're presenting themselves and how they carry themselves, like let's use Queen Naija, for example. I think that someone like Queen Naija, watching her transition from who she was at first to, like, I think she very much got caught up in just the average social media celebrity wanting to be the it girl. Only way I know how to be the it girl is to take my clothes off and try to force myself into being more liberated, right? And we know that she wants her boyfriend to marry her. And she, that's what she wants. And I think, not to say that I know anything about why they're not married yet or why he's choosing to be with her all these years and not propose to her, but I do think that there are certain men out here who will, they're cool with you being, the fun girl, right? The fun girl. You could have fun. You could be half naked. You could do all the things. Like, they're cool with that. But when it comes down to, like, who I see myself being with, like, forever, and calling my wife, and, like, this being, who I'm stuck to, I don't see that for us, right? And you don't realize that there are, unfortunately, men out here who will do that, but they will never marry that woman. They will sleep with that woman, and that's what women are like. When they'll sleep with us, well, that's because they will. But who are they really marrying?
Who are they taking serious?
Yeah.
And I think it's also, like, fair or not, you will be judged. I think like, we can't change everyone. We can't change everybody's idea. We can't change everybody's ideology. That is just the world we live in. And until women especially start to realize that we don't live in a perfect world, babe. We don't. We're not saying that having on a full sweatsuit won't get you essayed. What we're saying is that when you walk outside and you are wearing revealing, provocative clothing, you are leaving yourself susceptible to the bad men out here in these streets. They're looking at you and they're seeing how you value yourself. They're seeing how you are presenting yourself on this platter. And when you are presenting yourself on a platter as a 304, I mean, if it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck.
Yeah.
And it's and again, fair or not, this is the way of the world.
Yeah.
We are trying to change it, but we're not going to change it by being provocative. That's not changing the world. That's not changing the ideologies. That's not changing the behaviors whatsoever. That's just giving them more enticing looks. That's all that's furthering. You're just furthering the idea of being naked outside.
Yeah.
And leaving yourself vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it's not fair. You wanna you I get it. People want to do what they want to do. And we ain't saying you can't. But don't get on the internet complaining when things happen because you don't want to put at least some layer of protection over yourself.
Yeah.
Some layer to some capacity.
Yeah.
Of protection. That's it.
Yeah. And I think you have, as women, we have to start asking ourselves certain questions, especially when it gets into dating. Most women don't want to be honest with themselves about why they're single, right? Why they're having bad luck with men, why they're not attracting a certain type of man. They don't want to ever look at what they're doing wrong, right? And again, how I present myself. So the ideal man that I want doesn't want me, right? And it's not me it's just who I present myself to be. So you're never going to get that 6 figure, 6 feet, all the things that these women want when you are presenting yourself in that manners, and they don't realize that. Like you cannot keep trying to get a certain type of man, but you're not willing to alter and change who you are as a woman, right? And I want to show this picture because a lot of women they thirst trap, right? They thirst trap. They have no problem thirst trapping, and they really don't realize, like, even the women who are like, their heads are so big that they don't even get that they are being used in an objective type of way. They really, because they're getting tangible things, money, bags, whatever it might be, they really don't understand that this man is going to buy you, I don't know. Like I was just talking about, me and my husband were talking about the football player that Cardi B's dating, right? I'm like, why is he dating Cardi B? He's like, because it's Cardi B. Like, why would he not? Like, she's Cardi B. Like, he will have all the fun with her, do all the things, but marrying her, probably not. Like, but he'll have a good time with her, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have a good time with Cardi B and say that this, you can brag about your dating Cardi B, but in the reality, for who I see my life with in the future, it ain't you. And I think we as women don't want to ever accept that and make those changes. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show you this picture because I want women to realize that we're very, let me just show y'all. Okay. So we're looking at Exhibit A, right? This is Angela Simmons. Okay. So she got a lot of backlash for her outfit. And if you can see that her shorts are in a very close proximity to her private area, right? We as women, let's be real. We as women know exactly what we do. We know the clothes that we put on. We know how short the dress is, how low the cleat. We know exactly what we're doing. And I don't care what woman says. Oh my God, I did not know my dress was that short. Oh my God, I did not know my boot. Like, we know. And we know when it's like, oh, it's too long, I'm gonna pull it up a little bit more. Or that we know what we're doing, right? So she got backlash, as you guys can see, for her choice of her shorts. But it was more so the fact that she's trying to pretend like she doesn't know. She didn't know. Oh, I didn't even know. I was so worried about she said she was worried about her workout bar that she was promoting. But it says, if doing the most was a person, she said, girl, someone else said, girl, you be doing the most, delete the pic, and you know which one I'm talking about. She's doing the most now. Angela, put those shorts down, sweetie. Thank you. We could have done without the third slide. So this is, again, people are commenting on this. And I'm like, it's women in here who pick up on it, which I can appreciate, women who call this stuff out. But again, she broke up her and what's the man name? Who was she with?
I can Google it real quick.
They allegedly broke up. Allegedly, they broke up. I don't know if, again, why, if this is true, why come out and this is what you're like? I don't know what her goal is, to be married and have, more a family, more children. But this right here, how are men supposed to address you? Right. Like, if you're just walking outside just like this, and your workout, and a lot of women walk out like this. They walk out with these clothes, these tights, and all the things, and all, and they pretend like they don't know what they're doing. They act like they're so confused when people make these comments. And again, as you said, it's not, no one's saying it's okay for people to say inappropriate things to you, but you also have to know that when you open the door, what are you expecting?
Yeah. Yeah, what do you really think your message is to the people that's looking at you? And I think that's why, me personally, like, my wardrobe has changed drastically over the years. I never understood when I was younger, like, oh, the short shorts. I'm just like, these are shorts. It's not
Mhm.
that big of a deal. But it's like, in all actuality, it is a big deal. It starts to look inappropriate. Wait, what's the new slang? It's the moose knuckle. Her moose knuckle is out, sister. We can see it. And this is the thing. Women, and I feel like she's also probably one of those women. Don't objectify me.
Mhm.
Don't objectify me. When your moose knuckles out, I can see it.
We all,
You can see it.
yep.
We like, it's one thing if you're like overly voluptuous women. I'm trying to use certain words. There's no hiding the cleavage. There's no hiding the butt. We understand that. But you can hide your moose knuckle.
Yes. Yes,
You can hide your fruit cocktail. The
Yes, you
fact
can.
that we can literally see it is insane.
It's insane.
That's insane.
It's insane.
And what are you? And your father is a reverend. This is how you are portraying yourself in the world.
And you have a child. You have a son. This is how you present yourself in your child. And again, we're getting older, right? She's probably almost 40, you know? And it's like, when do we ever start to realize that we just can't do what we want to do, but then get mad at the consequences of how we're presenting ourselves? Yeah. That's the point that I just don't understand, why we won't really grasp that as women. When you're walking outside just like this, if not, and some women are obviously, they're way more exposed, just everything out. How do you expect men to view you? As on that clip Kitty said, like, they're going to view you as an object. They're going to view you as just sex. That's it. That's all I see you as. And I think we as women, we get mad when a man is trying to get you to come to his house. You know, he keep calling you to come over, and you keep saying, like, why he's so pressed? Well, everything was served to him on the first night he met you. So of course he's pressed. And I don't think that I think we really want to believe that a man is supposed to, like the nature of a man. I think we want to fight so hard because, as you said, we see there's nothing wrong with it. And again, like you said, that we all at one point in time is like, it's no big deal. It's whatever. Why does it matter? But again, if you think about just different opportunities that can come, even if it's not just about a man, just in general, it's like, okay, I want to look like I'm representing myself well. If you have a brand, I represent my brand. I represent, my family. Now I have a partner. I also represent him. And I think that that's what women don't realize. You represent your man just as much as he represents you. So when you walking outside like this, and you got a husband at home, it's like, excuse me,
like, what's going on?
Like, do you remember on Housewives when Phaedra?
I didn't watch that. Don't judge me, sister. I'll binge it. You know what? I'm gonna binge it just because you said something.
Are you kidding me? Because on Housewives, Phaedra Parks was married. She was one of the housewives. She was married to her husband at the time. They divorced now. But let me see if I can find but they were on a group vacation, and they were going out for the like to the pool or whatever, and she came downstairs in her outfit with her husband. It was a whole trip with everybody with their man. I think everybody had a partner but one person. But she came downstairs in her thong bathing suit thing around everybody, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" Like, and it was just, and then
jarring.
Women see that, and they see the people on TV, and they're like, "Oh, she get to do it." That's not the average man that's going to accept that. And then look at them; they're not even together anymore. But that's what women see, and they're like, "Oh, look at her; she does it, and she's still successful, and she has a husband in mind." But that's not the average man. The average man's not going to want his woman to come around a group of other men with her butt out. That's not an average man. She's also on TV. Is it for TV? So we don't know, but they get so caught up in like what other women get to do that they are inspiring to be those other women. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I also think too, like, you don't know the conversations that that couple is having behind closed doors. I think a lot of the times people have this misconception that because this is what you see, that this is what someone is okay with. A lot of the times men just like they peace. So they rather not even argue with you. If you want to go outside looking like that, that's cool, duly noted. Um, and when you're shivering with those spanky shorts
Mm-hmm.
and your multiple degrees, shout out
Mm-hmm.
to you. What do you think is going to happen, babe? You're not going to. That man's not going to be kept, and clearly he wasn't kept because you're not with him anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ladies, 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 and I think also dressing with intention gets you so much further. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand why that is something that we can't seem to fathom, but
Yeah.
it's like when you dress and you put intentions behind your dress and you put intentions behind how you present yourself, you're going to receive that same, you're going to, that's reciprocation. You're going to receive that back. You're going to
Yeah.
receive the good backlash, I guess. So it's called backlash. You're going to receive the positive reinforcement. You're going to see
Yeah.
that people are going to compliment you on those outfits. People love to I know I love to give out compliments. And
Yeah.
anytime I go outside, I run into people who is always extending compliments. People
Mm-hmm.
are always extending compliments. But when you don't put intentions behind how you dress, when you're not putting any pride behind how you dress, you're not going to get that same thing back.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that should also be in the forefront of everyone's mind. Dress with intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so interesting because I think that we there I think with being intentional, I think that I want women to grow up, right? I want us to grow up, and as you grow up and you mature, I do believe that your style and how you present yourself should also elevate, right? And I think that there's a difference. Some people, I know when you're young, it's like everything's out, right? Like you just like, oh, I want to be free. I get it, right? But as you mature and as you elevate and as you go through different changes of your life and you get in relationships and other things, I believe that our style should change. And it doesn't mean you have to go to like being a grandma or we get caught up in that type of stuff. But I think it's just a difference of how you once like how you once did things. Like my sister's a good example that, she talks all the time about how she's been able to like elevate her wardrobe and like still she likes to be, still be sexy and, wear the things, but she's went through a phase of like recognizing that she doesn't have to be everything got to be short, everything got to be cleavage out. Like she's recognized that you can still be well put together, still feel sexy, still feel confident. Because I think a lot of women, they only feel confident naked.
Which
Isn't
I can't seem to understand because I feel super uncomfortable
it
naked. Like you
super?
mentioned, you
Yeah.
mentioned the bathing suits, right?
Mhm.
I'm buying some bathing suits for my friends and they're kind of giving a little thongish, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, if I want to buy them bathing suits that would kind of make me feel uncomfortable, let me at least get them cover-ups too.
Right. Right.
Because I'm going to put on a cover-up.
Yeah.
And I know the friends that I'm inviting, they kind of have the same ideas as me. So
Mhm.
I know they're gonna look at me like, Joy, now I know
Yeah.
you did not just buy us this thonkini. No, girl, look in the bag some more. It's something in there. Oh, okay, a cover up. Thank you. Like, cause
Yeah.
when you're especially around children, like
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
beach, you're wearing a thong bikini. The public pool or your community pool at your complex, you're wearing a thong bikini. Like you don't care that you're around
Mhm.
children.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's inappropriate.
Mhm.
And to the video that you had showed to the woman that had that on, that wasn't sexy. That was risque.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is a big difference between something being sexy and
Yeah.
something being risque.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
was risque. You have nothing on underneath. That's like if I had this on and I was like, I'm gonna just leave these buttons open and keep
Right.
the top. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yep.
like you had potential, and then you threw it away by not buttoning it fully because you wanted to expose your belly and part of
Yep.
your breasts. That's inappropriate, and
And
she
that
knew better.
and that just shows how much women don't know how to do anything else but lead with their bodies.
Hmm.
They don't really have nothing else to give truly because again, they say that men sexualize them. They say that, men are always making them an object, but in reality, They only know how to lead with their bodies. That is their best attribute. So being covered up, showing no skin, feels almost like disgusting, I believe, for someone. Like, they don't know how to maneuver, they don't know how to feel, they don't know how they look. They feel very, very just out of their comfort zone, because they're so used to, like you said, she could have very much had that same outfit on. Let's pull up again. She had the same outfit on and just closed it. Like, you didn't even have to open it, if we being all the way honest. Like, it was no need to open up this top. Right? This is a denim jacket. She could have had all the buttons closed. And if she wanted to,
in order
keep
for
the
you to be his wife.
What's sexy?
one or two open.
What I got on, like what I got on right now.
Like this, there's nothing like, you see, like that's not sexy. Right? So this is another way to just be intentionally over sexualizing yourself. Like, that's literally what you're doing. Like, these two buttons at the bottom could have been buttoned. You could have the little top out, the little, right up here, and that could have been done. But no, as women, we unfortunately find ways to have to make sure that we show our bodies, to make sure that everybody knows that we look good. And again, what man do you think you're going to really attract? What kind of man are you going to attract? Because you can attract the men. Don't get me wrong. Women, I always say you can get you a man who gonna give you attention. Now, what kind of attention he gonna give you is something different, but you gonna get a man who gonna pay you some attention. That's 100% for sure. It's just about how is it going to actually go. Mm-hmm. So when you decide to come on that show, ask those questions. Even that, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if she unbuttoned that jacket just to go up there and ask those questions. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if just so I can be seen on TV, on this show, on social media, like, that's how calculated they are in their delusion of believing that it should not matter. And I'm gonna really ask this question like somebody gonna really think I'm right about this. Like, really, it's a jean jacket that you could have very much still been. She looks like she's, nice looking woman, still asked the same question, but no, I had to lead with my breasts.
Yeah. And I think women, it is so much, I think it's more freedom in leaving something for the imagination than it is to just have it all hang out. Mm-hmm. Like, leave something for the imagination, like, especially for overly voluptuous women. We clearly know you have a butt. We clearly know you have breasts. You cannot hide it underneath that oversized dress. Right. Even when the women that's voluptuous have muumuus on TikTok, we see it. Okay. But even how women are starting to say, like, oh, y'all, our grandmothers knew what they was doing with the muumuus. Look, our grandmothers had husbands. It's like, yeah, you're comfortable, you're covered up, and it still gives that hint of sexiness, because it's like, oh, I actually know, like you can, again, you're voluptuous, you can see the breast, you can see the butt, but it's like, I have something covering it, and it's so big and flowy that it's like, it's there, but you can't see it, but it's like, right. Okay, like that. That's why, because our grandmothers knew to leave something for the imagination. Our grandmothers knew, and the older generation knew, that covering up was sexy. Covering up was sexy. Even if you had on a nice long dress or something, having that little slit was sexy. Like, okay, she revealing a little bit of that calf. We see a little bit of calf muscle. Right? They knew that having your arms out, because what's the sexiest attributes on women? Our arms, our back, our legs. Having that little bit of leg out is what's sexy. Having that little bit of back out is sexy. Revealing just a little bit of your arms was sexy. Not naked.
What is called the clavicle? They said that the what is this? The clavicle bone is what men are very.
The collarbones.
Yeah, it's called the clavicle. I think it's called. So those are the things that we don't, as women, we won't even know that that's what men are like. Oh my gosh, she has her clavicle bones out, and it's. I think that the unfortunate side of this. Don't forget this. Make sure y'all like the live, y'all. Please make sure y'all like the live. Share the live out. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everybody for joining. Any super chat you want to support the channel with, I appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. But what we don't realize, as you said, that we don't we don't realize that we're making ourselves look bad. You know, like at the end of the day, you're making yourself look bad, and you're not realizing that the more that you keep fighting to be liberated, the more that you keep fighting to do what you want to do, the more that you keep fighting to be free and wear whatever you want to wear, really takes away the option that you have for a good man. You know, better options, because you're, again, the fight to, like, I'm going to stand on business, that I'm not going to give up on what I want to wear and how I want to do things. And if I have to do that, I'm just going to be by myself. Like, I don't want to do that. And I think, even, like I said, the fight to wear what Angela Simmons has on in this picture, that's how you want to walk outside and have everybody looking at you in that way. And you're leading with that. Soon as they see you coming, that's all they see. And is that how you want to be seen? As you, again, you're educated, you're a businesswoman, you have all these things, but nobody knows that, because all they see is sex, body.
I also think too, when it comes to us as women, even for us as women, when we see other women outside with their moose knuckles shown, with their cleavage out, it's not even like we're trying to objectify them, but we look too.
Yeah, because it's
We
like,
look
what?
too.
Yes.
Like, I've seen this. Like, I don't know if you know who this young lady is. She's on Baddies, but Anna Mac. She posted a video a little minute ago, and she had on some gray leggings, and you could see it. It was so, and everybody was in her comments. Now, this is somebody from Baddies, so her fan base and her comment section is obviously going to look a lot different from Angela's, because she's coming from Run DMC. She's coming from that sort of limelight. So people in her comments is going to be different, but they were loving Anna Mac. They was like, oh my God, yes, girl. Other women was like, let me get a taste. I'm just looking at the comments like, Lord have mercy. This is not, and Anna Mac is small like me.
Yeah, she is.
She's a frail, little skinny little thing. She's small like me. So it's like, girl, why would you post that? Why would you put that on? And I get it. She's young. She's impressionable. I don't even think she's 25. I think she's like 24. I think she might be turning 25 this year or next year. But it's like, you're young. You know, you still got a little ways to go. But it's like, it's not becoming. It's not becoming for us as women. And it doesn't paint us out in a good light at all.
Yeah.
Whether you're a voluptuous woman with curves, or if you're a small petite thing like me, it's inappropriate. Regardless of how you slice it, it's inappropriate. And I realize, and guess what? Maturing is realizing that even if you are small, things are still inappropriate.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I learned that.
Yeah, because you think, like, I'm small, ain't that big of a deal. You know, it ain't the same. You know, and obviously it looks totally different. But like you said, it doesn't make it appropriate just because it might fit better or it doesn't look a certain way. But I definitely think that it's tough because, as you said, like, somebody being impressionable. But I think, again, as women, I just want us to stop. I want us to stop trying to move the goalposts from not trying to believe that this is real and that this is a thing that could have really be affecting your life with men and just relationships. I think women really don't want to accept that how they carry themselves, how they dress, and how men treat them. Like, if you really think about all the men that you've dated and how you met them and what you had on and all of that, you start to really, because even you think about women who talk about how when they lose weight, how the men start to approach them and get a whole different response, right? They're like, I never had men trying to talk to me, date me, but once I lost weight, I've been getting so many men who want to date me, see me, all these things, because I've changed how I show up, right? So you think about the same thing as when you are dressing super provocative, overly provocative. What are the men that you are attracting? Think about those men. And if you ever had a time where you were more put together, more, covered up, what kind of men were you dating? And the unfortunate side is the men that they are attracting while they're covered up, they don't want those men. Those are the men that they call weird, corny, but they say they want a man who has the characteristics of that person, but when they see them in the flesh, he ain't they type. And that'd be the thing, that'd be the wildest thing, because they love, that's what I'm saying, they complain about the Pookies and Ray Rays, but they love attracting the Pookies and Ray Rays and sleeping with the Pookies and Ray Rays. So I don't, it's very like you're dressing for the Pookies and Ray Rays because the Pookies and Ray Rays are the ones that are going to play with you. A real man who's really serious about his life and really serious about his future ain't going to even want to play around with you.
I just was giving one of my good homeboys the same advice because he's dating a woman that believes this same ideology. She can go outside, she can do what she wants, she can wear what she wants. And on the flip side of that, she has children. And I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's no shade to that woman. She got kids. You don't. Why are you even entertaining that? And he's like, oh, I know, Joy. I know. It's like, but if you know, and then mind you, you're a good dude.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to yourself? And I had to sit him down and let him know as his friend, bro, you got a good head on your shoulders, right? You're a good man. You're handsome. You got a good paying job. Don't sit up here and waste your time. You're my age. We're about to be 30, right? You're talking about you want a wife, you want to have children. You're wasting your time with her. You sitting up here, oh, it's something to do, but it's nothing to do. That's you're blocking your blessings.
Yes.
You're having unauthorized doors open. You need to be firm and sit firm in what you actually want. And that's how you're going to attract what you want, what you need. You got to be firm in it. If you don't want a woman that got kids, stop talking to her because you're wasting your time. If you want a woman that has some self-respect, that knows how to dress, stop talking to her. You're wasting your time. Stop giving energy and entertaining women that's not fitting the caliber in which you are and what you're seeking. Because now you're continuing to perpetuate the same idea, and that's why you're not getting this type of woman that you want, because you're still back there. The woman you want is up here. You're back here. Leave those women behind so that you can coast your way up to the top. Because right now, all of these women is holding you back. Literally that following day, he called my phone. He said, yeah, I blocked her on everything, as you should. And any other woman you got up in that catalog like that, do that as well.
See, the
Because you're
crazy
selling yourself short.
the crazy part about that is, right, I think women also get very confused, right? When we hear the comments about like if a man met them in a club and he met her and she was dressed a little bit more provocative and all of the things, like he don't know you, he like what he see. And most people who meet somebody, they do not have like, they're not thinking, oh, she's gonna be my wife, right? I'm just seeing a woman, I think she's attractive, get her phone number and we'll see what happens from there. So women are like, when a man we're down trying to plan to be together, I'm trying to just see where this can go. And now I'm starting to care more about how you present yourself, because now you are potentially going to be attached to me. And they don't like that. They don't like when they'll say, well, he met me like that. Okay, but when he met you, yes, I understand that it can be confusing when you meet somebody like that, but it's been a year. So at what point do you finally say, I should be elevating? Like, okay, what he's asking of me when he met me, we were strangers, right? But he's now thinking about, I do really like you. And some people are like, I see the potential. I see that, I think that there's room for me to mention this and see if this is a possibility. But women get very caught up in like, well, don't talk to us, don't like us, don't do nothing. But it's like there's some people who are willing to give you a chance, especially if it's not too far going, But women are like, if he met me like that, so that again, that just shows our lack of ability to want to mature, to want to grow up. You want to do this, and that you were doing in the club 2 years ago, like he should be okay with that for his life, because it's insane. It's insane. So for you to think like, okay, if you don't want to accept and change for him, you'll meet another man who probably is just gonna play with you and not care what you wear and let you do whatever you want to do,
and don't you out.
Yep, it's just for fun for him.
And I think like, I'm open with my story too. Like when I first started dating my fiance, I was literally living in Miami. So my life in Miami, I was a dancer. I was an exotic dancer. But I always knew the moment that I entered that lifestyle, I knew this was not a means to an end. This is just to get me by for right now, because I'm living in this big city. and whatever, right? Because it's expensive, whatever.
Yeah.
But I knew once I enter a relationship, or once I'm back in my dating world, I'm going to be completely upfront and completely honest with the guy that I'm dating, so that he knows, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing right now. This is not what I'm about to be doing when we start dating.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to be open, and I'm going to let you know, if you're uncomfortable with this, I'm letting you choose your own destiny. I'm letting
Yeah.
you choose what you want to do as far
Yeah.
as dating me.
Yeah.
And exactly what you said. He gave me that opportunity to show him, oh, okay, she really okay, cool. She done. And
Yeah.
the moment we got official, the moment that I moved out here, that whole entire lifestyle ceased to exist. I'm not meeting up with no tricks to get no money. I'm not
Yeah.
going on no dates. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to no clubs. I'm not auditioning. I'm not doing none of those things, because that's not the lifestyle that I ever wanted to enter in the first place. I was put into some difficult financial situations
Yeah.
that this was just faster, this was just easier. But this wasn't something that I was anticipating on doing forever. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times, us as women, we're not really realistic about our dating life. We think that, oh well, you met me as a dancer, this is what you're going to enjoy. It's like, no. In all actuality, as far as it was for me, at least, being a dancer and trying to be in a relationship is not for the weak. This
Yeah.
isn't for the weak. You're
Yeah.
First of all, your night is spent in a club full of other men. So you're now allowing other men to see you, other men to touch you inappropriately, even if that's not what you want, because this is the lifestyle that you're in. You're allowing all of these things to happen while you have a man at home. So now by the time you get home, you don't want to be touched.
Right.
You don't
Right.
want to have that affection, because you dealt with it the whole night. Or for women that work day shifts and night shifts, you dealt with it the whole day, the whole night. This isn't what you want to deal with now. This isn't something you don't want to engage in that now. You don't
Yeah.
even want to be held or cuddled by your man, because you've been touched by all these men all night, all day. This is so, to sit here and say, oh well, he needed to take me as I am. If you met me in the club, even if it's not a gentleman's club, you
Yeah.
met me in the club, I was a bottle girl, you met me in a club, I was having fun, I'm going to continue to do this, and this in a year, 2 years is going to go by, and if you still don't like it, then you can go. Okay, well, bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you
But
wonder why you're
like,
single.
but like you said at the beginning, women have made other women think that that's how they should be. They should stand on business. I should, well, he can't get with the program, he can go. But in reality, it's like you are really setting yourself up for failure. You are really blocking your own blessings. You don't even realize what you're doing, and you don't know that there's women out here, the women that you're listening to are keeping you single. They're keeping you in that club. They're keeping you from, somebody who might want to take you from behind the bar and, a regular life and slow, a slower pace. But again, women have made women think that this should be okay and nothing should matter. It shouldn't matter what they do. It shouldn't matter what they wear. And then, like I said, we get caught up in all the judging. He's judging me. Or she's judging me. She's judging me for how I dress. But in reality, it's like, again, everybody's being judged. Everybody is being judged. And it's like, you can't keep trying to make it fit you. Like, you don't want people to judge you, but it's nothing you can do about it.
Everybody's
There's nothing you can do about it.
Everybody's gonna judge you. Everybody. It's inevitable. That's like saying, oh well, the mail shouldn't get delivered. Like, girl, it's going to happen, whether you like it or not.
It's going to happen. It's like, let me see. Hold on. I'm about to, let me fetch out this clip. Hold on. Because I want y'all to hear this.
Can I say something to the chat really quick? To the guy who said, what would they think if boyfriends withdraws?
I think he said, what would they think if boyfriend walked outside like that? Like if their boyfriend walked outside and like they would lose their minds for sure.
Child. Don't piss me off.
They would lose their
The
mind.
way, listen, the way that my man can't even like we have trash valet. The way that my man can't even go and put the trash out in his drawers don't make no sense. No. Lord help us.
Okay, let's see. Hold on.
Have you ever heard something like, oh, if you wear this, you're HOE? Let's get more into that. Okay, so what I mean by that is in like they say waist beads, they say belly piercings, HOE. And me, for example, I find it so like dumb because it's like it shouldn't just because. Listen, let me tell you something. People judge because off of one thing they see. Oh, she has that. Let me stay away from her. Why are you judging from the? You know what I'm saying? At one point, I do not care. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I did like not want to wear certain things because I heard it was HOE, but it's like, why am I, letting it come between how I want me to look? And I just like I be thinking so much. I'm like, I don't like when I be seeing girls with the out thing. I don't see them as HOE. I be like, okay, they look good. Like I'm like, shoot, I wish I had some of those. Like, but I'm hearing HOE. Have you ever?
All right, y'all. So have you heard a very, very important thing that stood out? She said, when I see them, I think they look good. I don't see them as a 3 or 4. Right. And the reality of it is women don't, because women cheer this stuff on. Women don't see it as any, women cheer it on. So again, we are not men and we do not think like men, and women don't realize that you are letting a woman tell you you shouldn't be judged and men shouldn't care. But it's men who you're trying to attract and you're trying to date and you're trying to be with, if you are if you date men, right? So women say this like, well, I don't judge because I think it looks good. Of course you do, because that's what women tell other women, that they look good, they look fine, it should not matter. And that's a problem.
I mean, okay, so what I'll say is it's times where like me and my friends, we playing dress up. That's something different, right? We playing dress up. Okay, all right, yeah, girl, you get in. Don't wear that outside though. Right? But it's like to push this narrative that all the women look good because they dress like that. It's like, no. Even the poster girl dresses, like the big viral video of the girl wearing a poster girl dress in the Applebee's. It's like, little do she know, in gentlemen's clubs, dresses like that mean you're a cheap HOE. You're a cheap one because you're wearing something like this. It comes and it's about this big. You put your body in and it stretch out.
Yeah,
that's considered a $2 outfit. Jocelyn $2 holes. Yeah. That's the same. That's the idea. You're wearing this trashy fabric. It's like you can definitely tell the girls that think that that's cute versus the women that understand this ain't it. Yeah. And even in the club setting, it's clubs where in a higher end, you can't wear stuff like that. They want you to wear actual gowns, dresses. They want you to wear robes. They don't be playing.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't, even in the clubs, you're not going to look good.
Yeah.
Even in the clubs, the men are going to think you're cheap. Even in the club, certain women are going to think you look cheap because it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these girls ain't buying the poster girl dresses because they can get the same dress off Shein for $3.
Yeah.
Cheap. $2. Come on. Come on.
Someone said in the comments, do women really think men think like them? Absolutely. Women have not come to the realization that men do not think like we think. And especially when it comes down to this conversation about how we dress and how we conduct ourselves, they really don't get that women, we see things totally different. And like you said, what we think looks good is a woman's point of view is not the same as a man's. And I think that is the biggest, the biggest breakdown in this whole gender war thing is women just don't want to accept the fact that this is how men see it. As I said, showed in that first clip, she said like men are territorial over what they love and what they care about. That's any man. That's any animal, right? They're all
Any
territorial.
respectable man, at least.
Yeah, he cares about his woman, right? He wants to protect her. He wants to keep him to herself. But we see it as, again, women see it as he's insecure, he's crazy, he's misogynistic, he's all of these things that they get caught up in, because a man doesn't, if he says, I don't want my woman to be outside with her butt hanging out, now he's the problem. And I'm like, that is so backwards. But again, women have made women think this way. They've made women think that this is the norm. They've made women think that the real men don't think that way. Real men let women do what they want to do. Real men let women walk outside however they want to walk outside. That's what they think real men are.
No, respectable man. Again, this is why men don't take us serious. This is why men say we lack logical thinking. This is why men say these things, because this is irrational thinking. This is an irrational thought process. What's good for the goose should be good for the gander. If you're uncomfortable with your man walking outside in certain pants, i.e., gray sweatpants, if you're uncomfortable with your man looking at other women, hell, these women are uncomfortable with their men liking other pictures on Instagram. These women were mad at cooking with Kaya, and that man ain't even living in the same city as you.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're on one hand, you're saying my man is all for me. Don't look at him. Don't look at her. Don't do this. Don't do that. But you can be free and wear what you want and be naked outside and have other men objectifying you and have other women objectifying you, possibly taking pictures.
Yeah.
This is why men don't take us serious, because you're not even thinking rationally. You're not thinking critically. You're not thinking logically whatsoever. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that you're not insecure for not liking other women around your man, or not liking your man to look at other women, or holding the doors for other women, or liking other women's pictures. But because he don't want to step outside with you while he's standing right next to you with your risque clothes on, now he's insecure.
Yep.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. It don't, and it never will.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I think just overall, and I'm gonna play this clip because I really want women to recognize, like I said, and men in the chat who may agree with this, but I truly think that there it says a lot about a man. Hold on, I'm just gonna put it up. It says a lot about a man, how he really sees you if he lets you do what you want to do. I think we need to really be very careful of that, ladies, that a man who lets you do whatever you want to do, who doesn't care about what you do, who doesn't feel a way about what you do, then you need to really assess, does he really see a future with me? Does he really like me the way that I like him? Because he's so, I don't care about anything. That says a lot about him and how he sees you. If he doesn't care what you do, where you go, like he's very much kind of like unbothered, and I think that says a lot. So let me just share this.
That a man who's with a woman, I don't believe that a man who's with a woman, if he truly loves her and cares about her, that he will allow her to go outside with no clothes on. That's just me. I don't think he really is serious about her. That's just my opinion. Because I think any man who truly loves his woman in that way and wants to keep her sacred to him, he's not going to want to have her exposed to the world. And I think when we get into the modest talk and the conversation, it goes back to the let women do what they want to do, mind your business, why do you care? But I'm like, it's so much protection that I don't think we correlate what being dressing modest. And, again, going back to your point about wanting Black men to protect you, how can a man protect you when you put yourself at risk? And I think we kind of undermine that even just by how we're dressing and we go out in public. I have to know that when I go outside and I'm going to, wear certain things, if I put myself in a situation, I'm now putting my husband in a situation because of how I'm dressing. I don't believe.
That's just my opinion. I really want women to really think about that. Like I said, if a man really loves and cares you and really sees the future with you, if he doesn't, if you could walk outside with your whole butt out and he says nothing, like, okay, babe, go ahead, have a good time. That man is not, he's not sticking around. He is not sticking around. He is literally there with you for the time being, for whatever he can get out of you. If it's sex, if it's money, if it's a good time, if he does not try to at least deter you or stop you, or and again, I don't have to be and like on some like I'm bossing you around like women like to make it seem, but it's from a place of like, hold up, wait a minute now, where you think you're going, right? Like that just shows again he wants to protect you. So when you are out and about, when you kind of moving out here in the world and we put ourselves in these situations and we're, we say men are so dangerous, men are so this, especially black men, they're, you rather choose the bear over the man. So you keep saying how dangerous a black man is or how men are, but you keep going outside, you dress in these very over sexualized ways, but then you are confused about how they're addressing you.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. You can't dress half naked and then expect people to be like wanting to just know how your day was. They're now trying to figure out how can I get you back to my house. Like that's where and again, those are the men that you don't obviously want to be with, but they're going off of what they see. And again, that man can go to you in that way, and then there will be another woman who's dressed totally different, presents herself well, and he will give a whole different approach to her. Totally different approach. You'll be surprised it's the same man that came up and approached you, just how he is moving differently about how he addressed her versus how he addressed you. And it's just that simple.
I think too. I think a big problem that I'm starting to have that I see a lot of men having, but it's not stated in this way. Although I understand to a point. The word man, the idea of men, males, is directly linked to predator.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
a direct link to predator.
Absolutely.
And while I understand, because I am a woman, right? I understand that ideology, right? I completely understand it. And to some point, I do agree. But I think if it's like this. That's like putting that's like cutting your arm, putting it in the ocean, and telling the sharks not to bite.
Yes, exactly.
You're surrounding yourself. If the word man, if males is a direct link to the word predator, you're now putting yourself in a hostile situation by making yourself bait.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, like I said earlier, that's irrational. That's illogical, especially if you're one of those women that's out here choosing a bear. And it's like even with the conversation of, oh, I'm gonna choose the bear, I'm gonna choose the bear. To a point, I get it. To a point, I can understand. I can understand because I'm a woman. And I also was a dancer, so I see the predator instincts. I've seen it. I've been around it. I understand it. Right. So to a point, I understand why women are picking a bear, especially women who have been essayed, who have been sexually assaulted. I get it. Right. But if you are a woman, if that's how you feel, don't be a worm on a hook.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself out for grabs and up for and put yourself as bait. Because now you're basically contradicting yourself. You're not even you clearly, it's like you don't care for real. You don't really care that these men are predators. That's just a thing. That's just a talking point. That's just something you want to say. Because if you really felt that way, again, to your point, you would put a layer of protection over yourself. You would put some clothes on.
Yeah. If you were that afraid, if you were that tired of being addressed, like you keep saying, well, men keep coming up to me dressed like, but that's the thing. Women will say, men don't know how to talk to me. Men are always coming up to me, but they will never self-reflect on, again, what was I doing? What was I wearing? Well, how was I behaving that man made that man come up to me in that manner? Because women will always be like, well, men will come up to me and I'm dressed this way and men still come up to me and do that. Yes, we know that there could be that is true. You could be dressed fully professional and there can be a man out there who's going to be inappropriate, but that's not the most common thing to happen. We don't have all these women who are all in this professional clothing and all day long is just men run up to her calling all type of names. Like that's not, but they like to use that to derail from being accountable for their actions and their choices about how they choose to, put themselves out there. But again, as I said, when we get in these conversations about, you know, how you tired of being addressed this way, you're tired of men treating you like this, you're tired of him only calling you when he feel like it, you tired of men not whining and dining you. But again, why would I want to dine a woman who she leading with her body? So I feel like she don't need no D. She ready to just get it on right now based on what I see. Like, it's
For
crazy.
real. And again, we're not even prioritizing men getting to know us, because
Yeah.
other women and a lot of women are perpetuating this hookup culture lifestyle. It was a woman that told a story, and I believe you probably know about the story, or maybe it was on Cartel's Live. It was a woman that told a story about how she slept with a man in a restaurant, in a bathroom in a restaurant. How he looked good, he was getting her drinks, and then he gave her the eye. She followed him, and it was either in a bathroom or on a walk-in freezer, girl. I promise you. I'm gonna try to find that video. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm trying to find it. I'm gonna send it to you. But she told that story, and as I'm listening, I'm just like, so. And then on top of that, she said, and they did it with no condom.
Oh my God.
So you meet in a bartender. You're going into the walk-in freezer or the bathroom or whatever. You're doing it to him raw, and you don't even know his name. You have never even been to his house to know if he got a woman. What if that man married? What if that man had an STD? What if that man was a serial unaliver? What if that man? It's a bunch of what ifs, but you left yourself susceptible to that because what, he gave you a couple drinks and he was talking to you nice and he smelled all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're leaving nothing for the imagination. We're giving our bodies away to Tom, Dick, Harry, Pookie, and Ray Ray, and anybody in between that, and then we wondering why we're not getting the results that we really want.
Yeah.
And then when we're told why, now it's a lie.
Yeah.
Or now you're a pick me, or now you're a panderer.
Yeah.
It's like at this point, babe, and that's why, to your point before, and I think maybe it was on your live where a woman was like, "Oh, don't be just leaving our sisters behind." It's not us leaving our sisters behind. These women want to be left behind.
They want, exactly. They don't want.
You
They don't
want to be left behind.
They don't want to do better.
If we're out, if this is a dangerous situation and we're out and I'm yanking your arm saying, come on girl, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah, because I can't.
I'm gonna leave you. And we've seen it even in scary movies. Leave them, just leave. Why are we not applying this to everyday thinking and everyday life? I'm going to leave you. You're going to be in the bus because you don't want to grow. You don't want to learn. We're bringing you're a horse. We're bringing you to the water. Now you're sitting here dying of thirst because you're refusing to take the knowledge. You're refusing to drink the water. You're refusing. It's ice cold with a lemon in it, and you just like, nope, I'm not going to drink that. You're leaving yourself vulnerable. You're leaving yourself out there for the taking, and then you wonder why your life is in shambles. And I personally think people are comfortable with their life being in shambles.
Absolutely. And that is very much where a lot of people are. They're very comfortable. They're very at ease. They don't know anything better. Everyone in their surroundings tell them that they're good the way that they are. And it's like, and this goes from, like I said, dating to your professional life to parenting. Like, people don't want to realize. And somebody just brought up in a comment, did y'all see the girl on Zoom with the judge? I don't know. I had this saved to show you guys because I wanted to show this as well about just how you address even in the professional setting. I'm not sure if this is the same clip that you're referring to, but I'm gonna share it because again, we don't realize, again, you make yourself look bad. And I think when you don't present yourself well, people don't really want to help you. Like, I think people are more willing to want to help you when you try to look presentable, you try to show up as your best, you at least put some effort into it. But when you have a I don't care attitude, why would I care more than you care?
Right.
Why would I show up more than you're going to show up? So I'm going to share this. I mean, we can talk about this briefly and then we can get ready to wrap up. So I thank y'all for, definitely typing this. I don't know if this is the clip that you're referring to, but think this might be the one because I was like, ain't no
Girl,
way.
she told that story, and I was like, at the bar, you did it on
That's
somebody's
wild.
steak.
That's
You did it
wild.
on the steak and the
That's wild.
pre-cut onions. You are a demon.
That's wild. That's not. That's. And you said he gave her the eye. He just it was.
Girl, he gave her the I feel like it was your live, Jay.
It was. I don't remember that on my live. That I would remember that. That wasn't mine. That had to be Cartel's. That had
to be right.
And Cartel probably had her go on and telling the whole story. Like it
think it was a video. I think it was just a video.
Oh,
the girl had told the
was telling the
story.
story. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. This is an example of how you would be, how you dress is how you'll be addressed. Here we go.
So when I called,
no, we can't talk at the same time.
Well, I apologize for being late. Excuse me.
Stop.
You asked me a question. I'm just trying to answer it.
I know. Put whatever you're trying to prepare down.
I'm trying to see my daughter.
Get your coat. You gotta put your properly dressed on.
I am properly dressed. I have on a t-shirt. I am properly dressed.
Is that a robe?
It's the problem, sir. I'm not even doing this to you. Ask me a question. I'm answering. My daughter is sick. I had to keep her home from school. I'm just trying to feed her. That is it.
Terrible, but you're in court.
Ms. Outerbridge, I'm sorry that your daughter is sick. But again, you're in court, okay? And we're going to treat it as such. I asked you.
I'm properly dressed.
No, don't talk.
I have on clothes. I have on clothes.
Fine, Ms. Outerbridge.
Right.
Sister, don't piss me off. See,
this is why Zoom
need to stop being in courts, because this idea that you can just put on a robe in court. God forbid you.
I got a t-shirt on.
That's not what he meant when he said appropriately dressed, babe. Mm-hmm. You're in a courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
This is a courtroom setting.
Something that you should be taking seriously, that you're in court for something.
This is like a job interview. Would you wear a robe to a job interview? Well, I mean, that girl wore shorts to a job interview, so Lord have mercy. These women is doing anything these days. But realistically, if you at least have put on a button up, like, for example, I got this shirt on.
Yep.
I have on some sweatpants at the bottom.
Yes, that's it. You don't. Nobody got.
Don't nobody need it.
Nobody got. But this is.
Your
and she
head all over your head.
Could not get it. She was still like, "What? I got clothes on. What?" She could not get it.
No, she could not about you being naked, honey.
She was not understanding what they were saying about you're in a setting. You're in a professional setting. So now how we dealing with you is like you're already the camera on the floor. She looking at like it's too much. Like it's too much going on. You cannot just show up any kind of way because again, you think I showed up. I'm here. Why should it matter? At least I came. Like they need you. You in the court for something that you did.
They at work. They get paid there.
So the lady tried to explain too, like, no, it's she. But again, this is the reality. How you dress will be how you're dressed, and we don't want to realize it. Like even that alone, again, let's say hypothetically, if your daughter being sick, but you were more presentable, and you had to take a pause for a second because your daughter is sick, and you got to stop for a second, then they may have said, you know what, okay, we don't want it to be that way, but unfortunately, it is what it is. People are more likely to want to help you, want to support you, want to do other things when they see that you have tried your best, but
take
you come
it
in
seriously.
You trying to scoop a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you could have made her before you got on court? Come on now.
Right. But hey, they would have given her some slack had she at least had on a button up, some sort of cardigan. Because a lot of listen, I'm a victim of it. Well, not a victim. Let me change my words. I have been the same type of way where when I first moved to here, my mom had sent me, I think like $300-400 to just go and get a bunch of professional clothes because I had none. I had been living my life for the past 3 years as a dancer. The most professional thing I had was what I wore on my dates were just long dresses. That's about it. I didn't have no button-ups. I didn't have no slacks. I didn't have no like no sort of loafers or any type of dress shoes. I didn't have no belts. I'm like, Lord, like when I moved out here and I'm like, all right, it's time to get a real job. You know, I got a man now. And I'm like, wait, how am I gonna go to a job interview? I only have jeans.
Yeah.
How am I gonna go to a job interview? I only own crop tops.
Right.
Like, but I had this idea instilled in me for as long as I can remember that it's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
And while crop tops and shorts or crop tops and jeans or skirts and crop, whatever the case may be, while that might be appropriate for you to wear on your day to day, when it's time for you to show up for yourself, that's not how you go.
Right.
You get button ups. You
Right.
get some slacks and you get multiple colors. You get some khakis. You get some linens. You get some blacks. You get some navies, right? You get the same colors and button ups. You might get a blazer or two. You get you some loafers, some dress shoes. You get you some flats. It's you. This is a known thing. You dress with the way you dress for court should be the same way that you would dress in a business setting. You worked for a bank, if you worked for Fortune 500, if you worked for hell, I've seen people walk in McDonald's dressed better than what she had on. This is a professional setting. You want people to take you seriously. You want to outshine different candidates. And in a situation like this where she's in court, whatever you're fighting right now, you especially if you owe money.
Right.
You got a kid. You need to be dressing as well as you possibly can so that you can plead to the courts. Listen, I got a kid. I can't afford this bill. I need y'all to help me. I understand. I did this, that, and the third, but I need your help. You couldn't even get to that point of conversation because you got on the road.
Yep. They don't want to hear enough you gotta say.
You didn't miss out on multiple opportunity. And this is you in the comfort of your own home. But you're not when you're on camera. When you're in a different setting on camera. It's not the same thing. Listen, these women are lost. And I'm glad I stopped dancing too. Look, I didn't even want to start. Let's be clear. I didn't even want to start. But when the bills is high, you got to pay $3,000 in 2 weeks. Listen, there's some things you got to do, okay? And I went to that club, okay?
Well, again, like you said, you have the ability to know, to see what it's like to be, deal with what came with, living a certain lifestyle, having to look a certain way, except how men approach you, how men, address you. But again, I think there is always room for growth and change and maturity. And I think no one's perfect. And I think especially when you're on your journey of being more modest, trying to be more elegant, trying to find different ways to find your style, and like you said, for going from how I dress one way, now I'm trying to find my style in this, and just all of the things, it can be tough, but we have to find beauty in not just leading with our bodies. And like I said, that's a lot of women, they only are confident when they have their body out. They don't find they don't feel sexy, they don't feel complete, they feel so lost. Like you see the women, like I'm so over the naked birthday shoots. I'm over it. I'm over that being the thing. I'm over that how we want to be addressed every year. We get older, we take more clothes. Like I'm over it. And I want us as women to realize that it's not a good look. It's not gonna make you more enticing for the right reasons. It's going to be all the wrong reasons that you're going to want, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter, just think about the women that you might idolize and the women that you look up to, and think about their results in life and where they are and how, and what their love life is like and all the things. And because it's important, so hopefully you guys found this conversation to be helpful. I thank everybody for being in the chat. I really, really appreciate you, sister, for being here and even just sharing some of your story. And, I just want us as women to realize that there are options. You can change. I know that a lot of women are stuck in their environment. They're stuck in their surroundings. They're stuck around women who tell them that this is it for them and this is the best way to be and how to be liberated, how to be free and all the things, but you can still be liberated and fully dressed and be respected and be modest and, graceful and all the things. Like, you can still, two things can be true at the same time. And we have to find that balance of, it don't have to be either I'm naked or I'm not, like it's a whole in between of, again, giving yourself grace on your journey. But again, you got to get away from some of these women who are keeping you stuck and keeping you in that space of, this is where you should be. If he don't like you for who you are, that whole take me as I am, we got to throw that away, because people are going to take you as they perceive you. And if you cool with that, cool. Don't come online crying about it. You got to accept your consequences, but you can't keep, looking for sympathy and pity when you making your own choices as to why you're not where you are in life,
Yep. And then you don't want to take the advice given.
Yep.
You don't want to take the advice given. And I also feel like this too, because and I know this is not true across the board. But I also think this is an energy thing as well. Because for me as a woman, I've never been sent an explicit pic by a man unprovoked. Ever. Never, ever, ever. I said that on a live once, and the lady in the comments was like, "You're probably ugly." Okay. But it's like, I've never been sent unsolicited, explicit pictures from men, because that's not my energy. That's not how I portray myself online. Even when I was a dancer, like, I've had a few instances, but that wasn't my life as a dancer. I wasn't talked to inappropriately. I wasn't groped and grabbed on by the men in the clubs just because, like, that wasn't the vibe that I gave off. And I think that it's very telling when women have these things happening, and it's like, when you look at them, you understand why. It's because this is the energy that you're putting out. Of course, men are sending you unsolicited, explicit pictures, because this is your page is enticing. Your page is telling them, if they DM you this picture, you probably will reply back with an OF link. Like, this is like, let's be for real. Let's be for real. And when I tell you, never in my 29 years, well, we're not going to, I'll say, because when did social media become a thing? Because I'm 29, but I guess within the 20 years, 20 years, I've never in my life, even when I was dancing, I never in my life had that happen. Ever. Ever. And I know a lot of women, well, not a lot, most of my friends haven't either. Because that's just not the vibe. That's just not the energy that we give off. So take that, ladies, with what you will, because men ain't out here just disrespecting us just cause. Men ain't out here just sending unsolicited pictures just cause. There's a reason.
It's going into who they know, who they think is gonna
There's a reason.
Like you say, your Instagram pictures say it. They're in your DM sending you, like you said, sending those pictures because they're like, okay, that's what you like. I'm a see what you I heard you tell your story time about what you did with the other guy. I'm gonna give it a try myself. Even those whole story time stuff. How you telling these story times about how you slept with and what you did and who you was doing it with. Now, how men are gonna address you is just like that. They're gonna address you based on what you just told that story So this is good, y'all. I think that, again, we're going to keep having these conversations and keep, trying to get women to just, like I said, to see that there's more options. It's not, there's nothing wrong with growing. There's nothing wrong with changing. There's nothing wrong with maturing. And I think the more that you do it, the more that you try, the more that you get out of your comfort zone, it is a beautiful, beautiful journey. You just have to be willing to do it by yourself, because sometimes you have friends who are not ready. They're not where you are, and you want different results in life. You want a different story. You want to have a different, surrounding. So you got to be willing to step out on your own and make these changes and really listen to what people are saying, because there's people out here who really want the best for you and telling you the truth. That's a big piece of it, is a really, really big piece of it. So I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. Thank you guys for the support. And if you are late, it's okay, Annie. You guys can go back and definitely watch the replay of the live, and take a full look at it.
This was fun, sister.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep doing it. But again, everybody's welcome to come back, and the more women we have on the panel, different topics, conversation, anything that you guys suggested I should talk about over here, let me know some topics of discussion. I'm willing, for us to talk about it and really see if we can, just open up some ears for the possibility of some positive progress in our community, especially as Black women. So I thank y'all. I appreciate you, sister. I really do. I thank y'all for being here. And I will see you guys in my next upload, which will be dropping tomorrow, God willing. And the next episode of Just a Girl Talk Show will be next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, this was fun. Let me see. You got a last comment? Oh, okay. Yeah. So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all join the Patreon. We're I'm going to be starting doing lives and exclusive content and videos in the Patreon. So the link is in my last video because I don't have it up on like close to me. Do I have it? Let me see if I can put it in the chat real quick. Because the Patreon is going to be where we can dive a little bit deeper in some of these conversations. We can get, more detailed, more just, open dialogue that we just want to, have more exclusive conversation. So I'm just going to drop it in the chat. It's going to be what I'm going to do is going to be in this description of this video. So once the upload is up, it'll be in the description. You can join the Patreon. You can, be a part of the JAG VIP Patreon. And yeah. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Good night, sister. I will talk to you later. Have a good one.
Of course. Love y'all. Bye.
So let's talk about it. I'm just a girl.
You know that girl, I am just a girl too.
There's a creator on this app called I'm Just a Girl, and a lot of y'all don't like her.
All the discourse surrounding Just a Girl, I really have just one question.
And I'm just a girl. Just a girl.
That lady, I'm just a girl.
No, because y'all are tearing that Just a Girl a whole new one.
I think the problem with I'm Just a Girl's content,
that Just a Girl lady, you cannot convince me that she don't hate Black women.